We bought the cheapest new open box Aeron Classic on eBay for $649.11. And at that price, this could be the best deal on the internet. But this chair hasn't been manufactured for at least 4 to 5 years and could be as many as 28 years old. I mean, we're talking back when life was like a box of chocolates and there was a well-known white Bronco on the loose. That's a long time ago. All right, so something really interesting about this open box new open box Aeron is the fact that I'm really bad at opening this box. There we go. Something that's really interesting about this one is that it's a classic Aeron, and an Aeron classic chair they stopped manufacturing 4 to 5 years ago at Herman Miller, and then they switched to what they call the remastered chair. So I'm really curious to find out what's inside here. I can't pull it out of this box up on this thing. I can't reach. I need to get this down off the table because obviously I can't reach. So, all right. So, one of the things about the new open box definition on eBay is how they describe that, and we're going to flash it up here on the screen for you so you can see. But essentially, this is something that's either been lightly used or it's like a demo product, and it's in excellent condition. Might have to put that back in there. I failed on that part. Here's the thing, it hit right here. If there's something there, that's my fault. So first glance here, looking at the chair, definitely, this is a classic, so at the minimum, this thing is 4 years old. First glance, it's looking pretty clean. Now eBay does say that these will come in a different package than the original package, so this is in the seller's packaging. And it's looking pretty good even though I dropped it. This, to me, it smells like it's been painted. I don't know if I can get a second opinion. Robert, you want to let me know what you think of this? If this... That smell like paint?
It smells like the same as a leaf.
Yeah. So and it gives it, that it definitely gives it a new look to it, but that's not a new open box type of vibe, I guess you could say, with this being that it's painted, but it looks clean. So and it does have a new lumbar pad on there. So what we're going to do is we're going to actually attach the backrest to the chair, and then we're just going to kind of go through it and see what we found with this one. Eventually, after we go through all the components and kind of take it apart and see what's making this chair what it is now, we're going to check the manufacturer date on it, because this chair could be potentially as many as 28 years old. They did start manufacturing the Classic in 1994. So we'll just pull these screws out. They're a little tough to back out, and I'm wondering if it's because there's some spray paint in the holes. This is way harder than it should be to put this screw in here. See how dirty that is on there? I don't know if that's the paint coming off there, but the texture on it's definitely different. One thing you can tell, if you look, what happens with these Aeron Classic chairs, people like to rest their feet on here. You can see how smooth it is right here. And this is likely where the paint had worn off. And then this was repainted. So overall, this is pretty clean, but back to what we're saying, a new open box, it's to me, it's starting to look a lot like a refurbished chair, and it's going to be interesting once we start to take the mesh out and kind of see what that is, and then pop these arm pads off here too. The pads that come off an Aeron Classic chair, they had a first iteration, which was like a sock that went over foam padding, and then they released a nice, soft, sort of one-piece or two-piece mold. It was the plastic inner part, and then the PU over the top of it, and it was a really soft feel to it. They're really nice. This is a much firmer feel to it, which is leading me to believe that this is an aftermarket part. All right, so we've looked at the base. We could tell on the base that there was definitely some rub marks and things that have been painted over. The casters on here, they look like they're a new aftermarket caster, so it looks like a pretty nice caster. And we're going to pull this arm pad off here real quick because I'm just curious to see what we've got. I do see that it looks like the screws have come out before, so my guess, because these are clean, they do look to be an aftermarket arm pad. So this is a new arm pad for sure, and again, it's a different softness than something from Herman Miller. I don't believe this is a new arm pad from Herman Miller. This is some type of aftermarket pad, and it's a nice pad for sure. And it's the same thing here with this too. This is new as well. So That's what you typically will find. Someone who's going to go through this chair and refurbish them, they'll try and, a lot of times they will use new parts if they can, and that's what this is, I believe. And that's why it looks pretty clean, is because those are new parts. So let's go ahead and pop the seat pan off, and we're just gonna pull the mesh off the seat and the back, just kind of look inside of here and see what this looks like, because this is where a lot of crumbs and things will happen as people sit in the chairs. We'll see how clean they are as we pull them off. I just want to pull this out here and just see how clean it is on the inside. I mean, the mesh from out here looks pretty good. And there's a channel that the mesh insert sits in, and I just want to see how clean it was. So they did a good job cleaning it up. They painted it. It looks, it's got a good look to it at first glance. The paint kind of comes off on your hands, but I mean, that's going to happen with the type of material they're spraying onto. But, overall, they did a good job. Robert, you want to give us a shot? You think you can get it? Got the one, can't get the second one. That's because I loosened it. It's clear that I loosened it. That's always the thing. So an interesting little find here with the seat is that you can see the hardware that's being used in here. This is a Phillips head. And then the hardware that we pulled out of the back of the chair is using this Torx. So what this means is, this is from the older version of the chairs. They use the Torx head on them, and then they switched to a Phillips head. Now, on a chair from the factory that's new, you're not going to find a mix between these two. This really shows that this is highly likely to be a refurbished chair, because you're going to see a mix of backs and seats going together. All right, the moment we've been waiting for. If this is new open box, it's going to be pretty clean. Not a lot of people pull the mesh out of these, even when they refurbish them, because it takes a long time. You spend quite a bit of time doing this. And as expected, number one, let's just look here really quick inside the mesh. So you can see this is the front part. This goes where your legs go. You can actually see that it's dirty on this part. It's really hard to get in there and clean properly if you don't pull the mesh out. And then when we look down in the frame, you can see all through here, and then even look in the front. We'll spin that around so it's easier to see. See how gross that is in there? I mean, this is not lightly used, in my opinion, or new open box. I mean, I've seen a lot of Aeron chairs, and when it's dirty like this, it's been used for quite a long time. So this is an aftermarket pad that's been put in the front for the waterfall front here. But as you can tell, they never removed the 3M strip to get it to sit in there properly. It's just still on. All right, so we're gonna find out the last little piece of information here. Inside the mechanism cover is the data manufacturer, which I'm super interested by. Number one, the backrest appears to be from a different chair, and that's pretty common with refurbishing, as they kind of mix different chairs together. And this is also something that's really interesting. It's like, this, I don't know where this came from, but this is appearing to be like it is a new open box chair with this thing, which appears to be coming from Herman Miller. It even says on the back, 2007 Herman Miller. But by the looks of this chair, I mean, we're maybe too old to have a label like this, or a pamphlet on a chair that's this age. We're gonna find out. Let's see what's in here. Well, the date has been pulled. The sticker that would normally go right here is missing. So manufacture date on this chair, the core chair itself is 4/30/2009 based on the stamp on here. It was pulled off the mechanism, which, I'm not that surprised considering we're labeling this as a new open box Aeron. We've put this fancy little pamphlet on here that continues to kind of show that this is a new open box Aeron, and this is a refurbished Aeron Classic that's from 2009. So